Hello and welcome to the next episode. And today we're going to take a deep dive on understanding and managing hunger. This is going to be a big step for us to move into the right direction in order to create a calorie deficit, allow you to think long term, achieve your goals, achieve your results, but also to start thinking about how can we get in tune with our body. So have you ever let yourself get so hungry that you ignore your stomach growls and you end up eating so much because you are so damn hungry? I think we've all been there. There's also the opposite side, where when we get to that point, we eat so damn much, and then we literally are filled to the brim, and it can actually ruin the food that we have just ate. That's often coupled up with low energy. We often feel deflated. We kind of go into hibernate. We want to take a nap. We're a bit sloth-like almost. So we need to understand first and foremost, why do we actually reach for food? And when we speak about understanding hunger, we need to appreciate that some people can suppress their appetite by having the ability to elicit that emotional control. Others often struggle and will fill that void with food. Understand that we have the physiological aspect of hunger, like physical hunger, but there's also the emotional aspect of hunger. So emotional is like cortisol, like stress. We have feelings and emotions, and we can use food as a distraction, as an escape, as some form of coping mechanism in order to manage those. So when we look at physical hunger is slow, it's gradual, it's onset. We can include a variety of different foods. It's in line with our circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is basically just when you feel hungry. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, the usual. And we can often eat to fullness. We can eat to when we're content. Think about when you go out for dinner. Sometimes you maybe even leave food on the plate. Emotional hunger is often when you're kind of triggered, you're craving a specific type of food. It's often highly palatable. There's no real sense of satisfaction, control, and it's out of sort of your normal breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3, potentially even 4 meals a day. So we need to look at emotions, because your ability to make the right decisions, to do the right thing at the right time, to get the right results is dramatically impacted when your emotions are high. So we use this sliding scale. When your emotions are high, your intelligence is low. And that's a really, really important thing for you to consider and really try to come to terms with. It's normally at this time where you can reflect back, press pause in this video and think, when was the last time you fell away from your diet? When was the last time that you overate? Was there something going on? Were you hungry? Were you angry? Were you under pressure? Were you lonely? Were you tired? Were you bored? Were you stressed? What was going on? Because weight loss is simple. Calories in, calories out. It is as easy as that. It doesn't mean that it's easy. Sorry, weight loss is simple. Doesn't mean that it's easy. So what is the problem? So when you decrease the control around your food that you have, you're likely to overconsume calories, and that of course means you gain fat, and it can sometimes take the enjoyment out of eating. And again, it can often couple up with like the leading feelings of guilt and shame and feelings of failure, and we gain weight, etc., etc. But some people lean into MyFitnessPal, and we also fall into the trap where we know the macros of everything, but the taste and the sensation of absolutely nothing. It's important to remember that we eat food. Calories are contained in food, and macronutrients are contained in calories. But we do not eat macronutrients. We cannot just look at the number on the screen and say, well, we're hungry, because if you're anything like me, maybe you look at MyFitnessPal and say, 400 calories left, well, I may as well eat them. Or you come to the end of the day and you've got no calories left and you're still as hungry. So we're losing touch with that, and it's important to have that in our mind that we eat food. We need to keep that. So when we overeat, the problem is when we're bored, stressed, empty calories, weight gain, confusion, bloating, we can feel lethargic. It ruins our circadian rhythm. All of a sudden, snacking at 9 o'clock at night, watching Netflix becomes part of your routine. It becomes an automatic habit. You instantly salivate at the sensation of Netflix and watching movies. And our leptin and ghrelin, which is our hunger and satiety hormones, are actually messed up. But the real problem with eating is ruining the short-term comfort that food can offer by feelings of guilt, by feelings of shame, by feelings of frustration. Because often when you eat when you're feeling these emotions, it can actually consequently lead to more self-destructive behaviors. It's a consequence. So what are we going to do? What can we focus on? Outcomes. Before you eat, audit. Simple routine. Can you increase mindfulness eating? Prevent the feeling of anxiety, loss of control, and allow for a variety of foods to be consumed without the feeling guilt, and ensure that you're giving yourself permission to eat the foods that you enjoy. And we'll be speaking more about that in later. First and foremost, I think it's important to just get you back rationally thinking, yes or no to these. Hunger checklist. Am I actually hungry? Simply asking yourself that is such a simple way to just get you out of the mindlessly eating. We need to just bring you back to mindfulness, and how we do that is improve the quality of questions that you ask yourself. Would I eat a whole plate of broccoli? That is one quick fire way to snap you out of the, oh my God, I'm hungry. Like, because if you wouldn't do that, then you're probably not hungry. Would I eat this if I wasn't bored or tired or thirsty? The best solution to eating less at night is going to bed. 9 times out of 10, you're actually just thirsty. 9 times out of 10, you're actually just bored. So asking yourself that, will this actually make me feel better? Very simple question. And do I actually want to eat this? If you can answer yes or no to those, you're going to have a much better, like your ability to make the right decision will be dramatically improved. So here's 2 very simple strategies which I want you guys to consider. The hunger and fullness scale. So very simply, on a scale of 1 through 10, how hungry are you? As you're eating your food, you can also check in with yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How full are you? Now, it's important to understand that leptin is a hunger hormone, ghrelin is a satiety hormone, and basically, sorry, the other way around. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. It's like gremlins, your stomach gremlin. Leptin is the satiety one, saying I'm full. The problem is leptin takes about 15 minutes to actually sort of signal the brain that you can stop eating. We've all done it. We've overate and we're like, oh my God, I'm so full. So much past your kind of point in that one. So mindful practice is something which we can focus on. I'll touch on in just a second. But ideally, we're looking to sort of be around this range here. 3, 4 to a 7, potentially even creeping up to an 8. But we never really want to kind of get past that point of range. So maybe throughout the course of the day for the next 7 days, you could just start to check in with yourself. How hungry am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Then as you're writing out your meal plan and as you're having certain foods, simply check in with yourself after. How full am I? How satisfied am I with that meal? And as the times of the day start to kind of progress on and go out, maybe you could start to attach certain foods or snacks that you might want to include as you move along the scale at different times of the day. For example, if you feel yourself at 3, you know it's more important to have a meal. But as you check in and it's lunchtime and you actually had a bigger breakfast and you're having, maybe you're going out for dinner tonight, maybe it's just your hunger's at a 4 or a 5. So you're not that hungry. So maybe you can just have a light snack. Maybe you can just have a piece of fruit, a protein shake, a yogurt, like a light salad, anything at all. Mindful eating practice, actually bringing you in touch with what you are doing. So here's a few very simple strategies that we can focus on. Eat at regular times. Super simple, but just like your granny used to do, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Studies have shown the structure to your day can keep you accountable. So if you can sit at the table, again, we speak about that a lot in this program. Consuming more protein. Protein is an essential macronutrient. You'll be learning more about that in later videos. And studies have shown they've done 600,000 entries on MyFitnessPal, and they found out that regularly weighing yourself is one factor in terms of long-term weight maintenance, and higher protein intake, as well as steps. 10,000 is the average, and water consumption. Those are sort of the main things which they found. Drinking more water. At the end of the day, your body is made up of 70% water. Think if you're dehydrated, that impacts your energy production. So of course, when you feel that you're hungry, you're low on energy, you need to be pick me up. Chances are you're probably just dehydrated. And studies have also shown if you have 500 milliliters of water 20 minutes before a meal, on average, you will decrease the calorie consumption by about 25 to 30% for that meal. And that's just by having a large glass of water 20 minutes before the meal. Eating without distraction. One study showed that those exposed to watching TV during dinner would consume 37% more calories when eating pizza and 70% more calories when eating macaroni. Imagine that. Just by watching TV, you can have a dramatic impact by how many calories you consume. Some other simple strategies: put your cutlery down. Focus on the people, not the food. Chew your food. Digestion actually starts. So if you can chew your food at least 20 times, it can reduce your calorie consumption by 18%. How simple is that? Focus on the people, not the foods. Again, we can often just kind of get lost in the art of eating, and we don't really give ourselves body or time to digest. So focusing on the people is just one thing for you to stop there. Put the cutlery down, have a conversation, and eat a variety of foods. By following a rigid meal plan, you're 18 times more likely to have an eating disorder than having an understanding of what you need and enjoying the little things that allow, of course, long-term adherence. That's the goal that we're focusing on. So you now know a little bit more about hunger, you now know a little bit more about satiety. I will see you in the next video.